What's going on, everybody? It is time for Truth Will Set You Free, episode number 72. The gang is all here. I didn't even know if Suni was going to make it. She's literally got rocks, like not in the Dave Chappelle smoke rocks, like in her kidneys. She actually has kidney stones, but she's going to make it to the show, through the show. She's going to have some fireball, and then she's going to go to the hospital.
I got my paperwork too, all right?
Oh, you got your papers?
I'm surprised the military hospital was able to see you so fast. They'd have been like, yeah, come
Dude,
see us in 3.5 months.
I was like, no, I went in there and they could tell. There was like, the color was missing from my face. I was pretty much lightweight pale. And they were like, are you good? And I'm like, my stomach and my back hurts. So they got me into x-ray and they're like, well, you got 3 stones. So we're just going to give you the like lightest painkiller ever. And you got 12 days. If it doesn't work in 12 days, come back.
This is not the first time you've been stoned. Let's be very clear.
No, it's not. 420 every day.
So we thought we were actually concerned about Casey. We're gonna bring it. Casey legit has never been late to anything. Never. He said he was coming back from the grocery store. We thought the Gestapo stopped him because he didn't have his papers. Yeah. We thought that he was being taken to a camp someplace. It was very dangerous.
They were worried about Casey.
I will tell you right now, the reason why I'm late is fuck Common Core math. I am so sick of it.
I'll let you know now. I was not one of the ones that cared that you had gone missing.
Thanks, ass.
Although he did check his apartment just in case you might have snuck it in.
I looked in my closet. You weren't in my closet. What else could I do?
If anybody doesn't realize, we have a new guest to the show. She's been on it before. The nervous white woman in the middle. That is Barb Allen. We're going to give us the nervous white woman because you're like.
I thought you said that. I'm only nervous because I hear my laptop going vroom, like it's going to heat up and overexplode here in a second.
Oh, it must be Syrian. Okay, we'll talk about that. So today's show, just so you know, before we really get started, first off, share it out there. We have a few people watching. We need more thumbs up, likes. We've got 6 according to this screen, which I know is off, but please help us out. I know we got a decent amount of people watching, but we need more. So share this out there. Hit the like button. Keep commenting. We see you guys in the comment box. Today's show, we're starting with 10 minutes max. 10 minutes max. We're going to end this stupid friggin' Alec Baldwin conversation. We're going to end it. Companies standing up for people that are unV'd, In and Out, for example. We're going to discuss whether or not that's a big deal. Iran is behind a drone strike in Syria. Allegedly. We're going to talk about what that means. Fauci still having a job. I don't know how that happens. Biden's no good, very bad week. FDA, trick-or-treating, and Obama thinks that, a trans person R-wording somebody is right-wing outrage.
R-wording.
R-wording. I don't even know what I can say anymore. All right, let's get the show started. What's going on, everybody? It is episode number 72 of Truth Will Set You Free. We've got a great cast tonight. We've got new people on the show. That's right. Barb Allen hasn't been around for months, and we've got her on to talk with us and talk about the Great American Summit. Suni, Easy, Kevin, the Kid, I guess that's his name for the week, Casey, and of course me, Anthony, from hashtag BetheChange. We're talking Alec Baldwin. We're talking about companies standing up. We're talking about Fauci. We're talking about Iran, Syria, Biden's no good, very bad week. The FDA takes money from anybody. Trick-or-treating and Obama and whatever. Transparents. Cool. Let's get this show started here on BetheChange. What's going on? All right, ladies and gents, let's go ahead and we're going to roundtable it. Suni, really quick, say hello to everybody, and we'll go around and then get to Barb.
Hi, guys. What's up? How's everybody doing?
Living the dream.
I'm excited to get this topic done and out the way.
I'm glad we started with the black person, but that's okay.
Everybody knows who the boss is up in this bit.
That would also be in most movies, the first one to go. Easy.
Every horror movie except Deep Blue. LL Cool J, but the
He
trend.
lasted. Listen,
Yeah.
black folks do not go investigate anything. That's why white people were put on the planet, because we would never know what wildlife looks like. We wouldn't know what sharks look like, because ain't no black people going to investigate.
No to the water. No ocean time.
No, and we're not going to the Sahara, and we're not going down under in Australia. So.
And they're not going to look at what that strange clunking sound in the back of the cabin was in the middle of the night.
No, we'll look at the cabin with the door shut.
And this is how we make it so awkward for Barb. She's like,
Barb is actually concerned about her computer. Let's have Barb go, and then just in case she's got to restart, because again, it sounds like her computer, she said, is a fighter jet, which is preparing for war. Barb, introduce yourself. We are very excited to have you on, and of course, the summit that you've got coming up. So first, tell everybody who you are.
Thank you. Well, I am apparently the very worried white woman in the middle on the bottom. Literally, if you can hear my laptop, it's like I don't know what the fuck is actually happening with my laptop right now. And if it dies,
sorry,
Nancy.
I am up a creek. But anyway, so that's it. That's my concern. If my laptop dies, that's my biz right there. So, creep. But so other than that, I am co-host of American Snippets, co-founder of American Snippets. I'm a Gold Star wife, which means that my husband was killed in active duty service. He died in 2005. And that's a whole other story, like how he was killed and the circumstances surrounding that. But today, that's what led me down the path to do what I'm doing today after I sort of went down a dark place for about 10 years. It took me to kind of figure my shit out and get myself together. So here I am today, better late than never, back in, and I will be fucking damned if I'm going to let this country that we went through so much for be taken apart by people who wear vagina hats and shit like that. I don't even know what is happening to the country that my husband gave his life in service of. And I don't know what I personally can do to swing the pendulum back to our core values and right everything that's been going on. But I'm so happy to be here among all of you who feel the same way and are doing the best that you can with the gifts and talents and resources that you have to do the same thing.
Thanks, Barb. And by the way, she's had a couple books. She was just on Bradley's Dropping Bombs podcast. She's had some huge names. Her and Dave both have had some huge names on their podcast as well, including what's the gentleman's name that killed Bin Laden, that was credited with the kill of Bin Laden? Rob O'Neill, who, might I add, is he currently slated to speak at the event we're about to talk about? Or
I don't know. I've been texting him back and forth, and he's just going to see about his schedule and all that. Rob was super cool. He wrote the foreword for my book. I like him. He's just an awesome human being, just very down to earth. So I'm sure if he can be there, he will, but we're not putting him out there
yet.
So we know one way or another.
You've had amazing people on your show, and including Bobby Sauce. He's going to be speaking at the event. But ultimately, I encourage you guys to learn a little bit more about Barb and what they've got going on with American Snippets. I have actually shared the Great American Summit in the chat, in the actual comments, which she's going to talk about briefly. I will be one of the speakers there. Barb also has a couple books. Her story is like a lot of the Gold Star wives, but also very different because the circumstances were actually revolving around a fellow soldier and corruption in the military. And it's amazing that she can still see the good in our country and good in the military and what we stand for, despite what has happened in her life. So I know that's a teaser into her story, but it's fascinating. And Barb's also incredibly talented at hosting shows. And speaking of the show, the Great American Summit in January, which we will all be at, Barb is going to talk about right now. Tell us about it, Barb.
Thank you, Anthony, for all of those lovely things. Whatever you're drinking, drink some more of it. So there we go. Cheers. So the Great American Summit, our tagline is patriotism with purpose, because we've all seen that if anybody's going to right America, it's going to be the people, not the government. And so the way to strengthen your country is to strengthen yourself, get your own shit together, strengthen your family, get your house in order, and strengthen your communities. And with strong individuals, strong families, and strong communities, we're untouchable from what is happening in our country today, and we can withstand it. And so I looked around the world, Dave looked around the world, and there is really not another event doing what we are doing. There are some that come close, some that parallel, some that touch on it. But what we're doing is, 1,000 people are going to come together. We have these speakers, many of whom are donating their time and service to come be a part of it. And literally from the get-go, every dime made is going back to organizations that we have personally vetted that serve our military, law enforcement, first responders, and our at-risk youth. Those who serve and protect are getting it, and our youth need it the most as well, and their families. So that's our part to do it. So we're looking to raise about $300,000 to get back to these organizations. All these speakers coming in are people that we know personally that have the keys to anybody. If anybody coming to this event is going to have at least one speaker who taps into, or several speakers that tap into a core thing that's holding them back, that's preventing them from doing all of that, from getting themselves, their family, and their community in order, and being strong and independent of what's happening in this country today. So we're just really excited. I have special touches I'm working on, really, really unique special flares, entertainment. Ryan Weaver is coming out. He's a combat veteran and a 2-time Gold Star family member. His brother and his brother-in-law were killed on active duty. They were both shot down in helicopters. Ryan Weaver was a former Black Hawk aviator, and he's coming out. He's a performer as well. So he's working to get stuff together to do a concert as well. Yep, those are our speakers there. Amazing, amazing, amazing people. And I cannot even believe these people are stepping forward and saying yes when we ask them. Nick Vujicic, look at him, Steve Sims, Bradley, boom, it is amazing. They exemplify everything.
You forgot about, excuse me.
Look at that picture. It's so cute.
Look at, you forgot, there's also Anthony Russo on there. Let's not forget.
I think that's open for reserve.
There's a speaker, Martha. She's not on there yet. She's going to be added on, and I just met her. Steve Sims introduced me to her. She is amazing, and she's going to add her own flair too, because if you notice, we're a little short on women there. But I stopped worrying about that. And I just go back to my 16 to 20-year-old self and tell myself that one day the problem will be too many men. Like, who would have known, right? So that's what I'm doing to just make that okay. And that's just the way it is. But literally it's going to be amazing. Everybody attending is going to know that just from being there, they've made a difference. And I'd like to share the special touch that we're doing, but I don't want to give away the surprise. But when I tell you, it is going to be next level. Literally, nobody has ever done this before, and we're not doing it for the visual effect or the dramatic touch. We're doing it to actually put into action what we're talking about. And
we're sacrificing a Democrat on stage.
Live on stage.
They're invited, But I'll give a little hint is that, it's often said that conservatives or right-wing people, whatever you want to call us, that we hate immigrants. Like, why do you all hate immigrants? Well, this is going to prove that we are the opposite, that we support people who come here legally, and we want them to get on their feet, and we want to be a part of that American dream for people who come to this country lawfully. And that ties into what we're going to be doing at this event. So it's actually going to be fucking phenomenal. And we've been working on this for a couple of years. And all the setbacks that we've been through, I truly believe have been to put us right here, right now, to meet these people, to do this event, to start this movement right when it's needed to be. And we're super stoked about it.
Yeah. So ultimately we'll wrap it there, but it's January 7th and 8th, which ironically is about a year after, that event.
That was not an accident, by the way.
Not an accident. So obviously the news is going to be doing the 1-year anniversary of the worst day in the history of America.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing this event. It is in Irving, Texas. The whole team, besides Suni, because she lives on a different continent, will be there. So everybody you see on this should be there helping out with Barb.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
I'll be speaking and helping as well. You'll get to meet Mama Russo. Kelly will be there, and we'll all be helping. But the tickets start at what price? They're ridiculously affordable. So what was the start?
Ridiculously cheap. It's $197 for 2 days, and we're going to be putting out to your community, to our communities. We're going to be putting out a coupon for like 25% off of that as well. So, but the cheapest ticket is $197. Anybody can afford that. Like really, you can afford $197. It's all going to nonprofit to help us pay for this event. And what you're going to get for that is banging. Like, you couldn't even watch some, I don't know, you couldn't stay a night at the hotel that you'd have to stay at to get trained and coached by some of these people that are coming, to this event. Think of all the things you drop $197 on. You go out to dinner with 4 people, boom, you're done. Like, please.
I paid
So
more
much.
than that. Just stay in Nampa, Idaho. Anybody want to be able to explain that to me?
Yeah, exactly. So make sure you guys check it out. The coupon's probably going to be for the higher end tickets because I think $197 is just fair for starting.
No, we're applying it to that as well because
You're
we
killing
know
me,
that people are
Barb.
struggling.
You're killing me, Barb. That's how. Okay, we'll have
Giving away the
25%.
goods.
All right. So, anyways, but yeah, we'll
That's
we'll let
only
you
going to
guys-
be put out through our communities, through your community, through ours.
Right,
We're not going to put it on the
right.
website. So people listening, they got to follow you. They got to stay in touch with you, with your community. They got to stay in touch with our community, with all you guys. And
So-
we'll give it to you guys, and you can send it out to your communities. So,
So
we're not
as
gonna be
soon as
putting
we
it out-
have that code, you will know. And actually, Barb will probably be on a one-on-one show with me shortly. So we'll talk, and that'll be when we launch that code. But you guys feel free because it is for a good cause to pay full price at $197 for that. Starting $17.76 is an ultra VIP where you get to meet all the speakers and all that good stuff. All right, let's chat. Lastly, sorry, the one other thing. I'm going to be speaking on a digital event and producing it next week with Brenda Ringwood, Terrence Leffridge. It's called ComeChangeYourLife.com. For more information on that, again, this is more of a motivational, not so much of just and again, Barb's is motivational and patriotic at the same time, and business oriented, but this one is more of a business oriented. So guys, if you'd like to check this out, it's a full digital conference for the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. So check that out with Brenda and I, and hopefully she'll be on a show with me next week to learn more about that. Let's start talking politics. Holy nuggets. All right. Is there anything else? Oh, last thing, easy, do your thing.
So everybody needs to go check out our merch at awakenotwoke.myshopify.com. If you can't make your voice heard, let our shirts do it for you. We've got some great messages. Everybody needs to hit it up.
I'm putting it in the comment box, 20% off. Let's go. There it is. And yeah, I'm wearing this technically is their bestseller, by the way. The I'm Awake, Not Woke. And then we've got, of course, Unveed Lives Matter. That's a new shirt that Casey's got on. I got to actually get one of those. I dig it. We will not surrender, Black Flag. Nancy is out of jail, by the way. When we say, Barb, when we say sorry, Nancy, after we say fuck, it's because Nancy one time got a little upset, which is funny that she was in Facebook jail. She said, because every time I say it, even on my live, she's like, thanks for saying I'm sorry. I love Nancy. So, anyways. And get some Sunni shirts as well. She's got. She also has a whole line, the Mata line, on our website. All right, here we go. We're 18 minutes into the show. We've got 10 minutes to talk about this or less. Alec Baldwin. You guys had a conversation last night. Sunni, explain the 2-hour show you guys had last night, and then I'm gonna jump in.
Okay, I was pretty much just calling out conservatives for their very poor behavior and how they're acting with this whole thing. I called out Candace Owens. I called out Brandon Tatum because I don't think it's becoming to take a tragic situation and profit off of it. I don't think there's any reason for anybody to spin this and make it political just because you don't like what he said. Everybody has freedom of speech. And if we're going to be the group that advocates for freedom of speech, we need to implement it and use it no matter who it is talking. There's nothing wrong with somebody saying, I don't like the fact that you got a gun. You can not like it all you want, sir, but I still have my gun. So it really just irked my nerves, like really, to watch how many people were not only making fun of this, being just very nasty and vulgar with their words, and watching really big conservatives participate in this as well. It makes our movement, and number one, it cheapens the movement. It makes us look no different than the left. So then I feel like the next time they do something, just shut up. I don't want to see any conservative complain. For what? There's no reason. You went this hard on this dude for a tragic situation, all because he said something against your politics. I think that's trash.
I'm gonna agree with Jelani on this one. I also watched a lot of the show. I watched all 2 hours of what you guys did last night. I agree. I agree more with Sunni, to be honest, and I'm going to explain why. But first, I want Easy to give to kind of summarize, Easy or Casey summarize, because you guys kind of agreed by the end of the episode. There was not, you guys weren't that far apart. So kind of bring up your side as the ultra gun responsible side and why and specifically Easy, why you thought this sets a dangerous precedent.
Yeah, so I think what we're dealing with right now specifically is that people are frustrated and they're expressing it. And I talked about this last night. They're expressing it in maybe uncool ways, and maybe it's going too far to some degree. But people are really sensitive about their Second Amendment. And the reason why is because it's the amendment that allows all of the other amendments to be upheld. And the reason that I feel so strongly about this is because I've been around my whole life. I am a gun owner. Everywhere I go, so does my sidekick. And so when you have people of prominence making, whether it be personal or general attacks on something that is the stabilizing factor in our Constitution, I take that personally, because for me as a gun owner, it automatically puts me in bad light in the social situation. So I'm just going to preface and start there, and I'm going to add to that and just say that there was some interesting things that happened between our conversation last night and today, this morning. One of them is Ireland Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's daughter. She's been all over Instagram causing a ruckus, and her and Candace Owens got into a tremendously large public debate and fight. Okay. I just pulled up her specific Instagram because I think this goes to speak to the way that this is being addressed in the public manner, is that this is the message that's currently sitting on her Instagram page. This is on her live stories.
This Candace?
This is Ireland Baldwin right here.
Ireland. Sorry.
Okay. So yesterday they got into a huge blow up fight. I'd have to go back and grab the screenshots from it.
Okay.
But this is what came of that interaction.
And who is that
they had
with?
a personal conversation.
Candace.
They were able to come to some sort of
Okay.
resolution. And ultimately, what happened is that she says sometimes having an actual conversation can go a long way. Okay. So the reason I bring that up is to kind of preface this whole thing with, when people are dealing with this incident, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everybody's been right. I think there's been some wrong, but to not talk about it in the sense that it was negligent would be a fallibility that I have to call out, because as a gun owner, I have to sit here and I have to say 100% of the time, if there's an incident that a firearm is involved with, we must have a conversation about it if we're going to educate people for the purpose of true gun safety, which is knowing how to operate, own, and control a firearm appropriately.
Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, so a couple things. First and foremost, it does need to be addressed that this could have been prevented with simple gun safety. Now, let me explain why it is so important to point it out. Because Alec Baldwin is an actor. Alec Baldwin is a very popular actor. Alec Baldwin is afraid of guns. He has allowed that fear of guns to prevent him from ever really handling guns, like actually going out and taking the time to learn. He has instead chosen to advocate that you should not have the right to have that gun. Now, because of Alec Baldwin's negligence and his refusal to actually, I would assume the refusal, because number one rule, the first thing you're ever told is every gun you touch is loaded until you verify it's not. That does need to come into effect. And if you are purely going at it from was a completely preventable tragedy and you're not trying to capitalize on it, that does need to be spoken on. However, Alec Baldwin also screwed Alec Baldwin pretty hard in this, because let's put it this way. He was given a gun by an armorer on set that was not good, to say the least. Very bad. Absolute bargain bin armorer who was hired by the producer of this movie, who is Alec Baldwin.
Is that, Kevin?
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. So at the end of the day, like, not addressing this is I understand, Suni, why you're upset about conservatives, because it is absolutely the Republicans pounce thing. But you got to understand that mindset, the idea that we shouldn't report on something like this, is that, it's one thing for how going after it, like being really nasty about it, and I get that, but I'm personally a troll. I loved the jokes, so
let me push back on all of you, and I did this yesterday.
Can I have your backs? Can I have your back, Suni?
Sure.
Can I take this? Okay,
Sure.
because Suni, I watched the 2 hours of you guys. I agree 98% with you. And here's the thing. from a civil perspective, there is some negligence on his part. I've also worked on commercial sets. I've worked on movie sets. When somebody is handed a gun that is somebody like Alec Baldwin, their job, and again, they're rehearsing. Their job is to do their job, and that their job is not to test the gun. The guy before him, and I watched other people discuss exactly how this is supposed to be done on set. You're supposed to fire it into the ground 2 times. You're supposed to double check. You're supposed to look. You're supposed to do that. That wasn't done. The unfortunate thing for Alec Baldwin is this is his movie. So that's a civil issue. But in terms of actual criminal prosecution, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult for me to see this. Now, from a civil perspective, that's another thing. From an involuntary manslaughter, you can argue it, but that's going to be very tough. Now, you look at all the conspiracy theories right now in the comment box that I know and I've heard. There's no evidence to that. Whenever that comes out, cool. You could talk about Freemason, you could talk about whatever, but let's talk about the matter at hand. The matter at hand is the fact is, as a Hollywood actor, that's technically not his job. The person most at fault based on logic is the person whose job it is to make sure that it is not loaded. For somebody like Alec Baldwin to have gun safety, whatever, that should be something that is changed from here on out. But ultimately, it's got no actual perspective in this. From a civil suit, that he was the person that hired the shitty, the shitty gun checker, gun safety guy. That falls on him. And lastly, the Donald Trump Jr. thing. This is the 2% I disagree with Sunni. I agree that Candace Owens, Tatum, I agree with all of them are completely out of line. That would be like me saying something shitty to that extent. However, Alec Baldwin has written a book about Donald Trump. He has profited off of making fun of Donald Trump. So that to me is more of a family issue. Do you really think that Donald Trump Jr. cares about $28 shirt? That was more of a gigantic fuck you back to Alec Baldwin. So that to me is all fair and bullshit, but the rest of it is absolute garbage. Barb, go ahead, and then Sunni, you can end it.
I got to just pop in here for a second. I know there's going to be a lot that I can't speak on, of like the serious shit, right? But this I can. And I think in every single conversation we're having, whether it's one side or another side, whatever I've heard about this, I think here is where we've all kind of lost track a little. Like, what the fuck has happened to us as human beings? Like, where has our grace gone? Has anybody even thought about the victims' families? Like 100%. What this must be like to them. Like, why is everybody focusing on Alec Baldwin? There's going to be a time and a place for address negligence, gun control, who's responsible, who's at fault. There's going to be time and place for the jokes, the comedy acts, maybe a time and place for that shit. But right now, there is a husband and a son who have lost their wife and their mother. There's somebody who lost a daughter, a sister, a best friend, or whatever. Like, can we not just give these people some grace? Like, what they're going through now is fucking hell on earth. And
agreed.
Every single person having these conversations is making it worse for them. Like, so could we not just like have a 48 hours or something? Like, give these people time to grieve. And that's why I get so worked up about it. I'm like, not that I don't give a shit about the gun control, all of that. That's valid, that's the point. But Jesus Christ, people, like, fucking step back for a second and give these people some room to breathe. For all of us who aren't there, who don't know shit, who don't know all the facts, we're just speculating on what we've heard. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. But what we do know is that these people are mourning, and could we just show some grace?
And easy, it won't set precedent, because I wanted to cover that, because it won't set precedent just because he's because he's a big name. And again, I agree with you. Alec is an asshole, and
I can't stand him.
There's a lot of irony to this, but it won't set precedent because they're seeing this happen with somebody. This is completely different. There's been accidental discharges as Sunni, and I did the research too.
Yep.
There's been accidental discharges where people have gotten off in these sad cases. This one is even more of an accidental discharge because literally it's acting out a scene. And to people saying, why was he pointing the gun at somebody? That's how movies work. That's how they have to shoot these things. This is unfortunately that world, which is why it's so important for the guy the pre-guy, the guy that says cold gun, to go fire, 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 spin, check, cold gun. And they have a procedure that was not followed. And again, it's a civil suit against Baldwin because it is his movie. Period.
So according to New Mexico statutes, all it requires is for the person who it doesn't matter. The person who touched the firearm and it was in their hands while somebody else died, That is the absolute underlying statute in New Mexico that allows for involuntary manslaughter to be charged. I don't know that I agree that he should serve time in jail, but to hold somebody not accountable to the letter of the law allows absolutely for people to set a precedence everywhere to say, well, they didn't have to be held to the same standard of the law that I'm having it being applied to me today. Movie set or no movie set, we all agree that gun control is best done through knowledge and understanding. So at some point, although we're just going to have to agree to disagree, I think, on this subject, we do have to acknowledge that precedents are set all of the time. And that's half the reason we're in this mess to begin with, is because we don't hold people accountable when it's an opportunity to do so.
Agreed. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up. The last thing, I just have to...
I want to...
Okay, and
just
I'll let Suni wrap it. She's not an actor, she's camera. So that's the thing. So I think people forget about the way things outside of their sphere work. If you've seen a movie and somebody's going like this, they're aiming it at the camera. This is, and again, there could be evidence that comes out that she was doing this. Let that happen. Let it find out whether or not the anti-gun guy might have been shooting earlier in the day at Cannes. That would be shocking to me. If you're so against guns, why you fucking around in that's a different story. But as of right now, with what we know, this happened. Suni, go ahead and wrap this. We're 2 minutes over. Go ahead.
So look, this logic is like saying conservative Christians can't make movies about abortions because they're anti-abortion. Your logic is flawed, bro. Just because this guy's anti-gun does not mean he can't make a movie with a gun in it. That is like saying we can't make movies. I'm making it make sense. We're anti-abortion. What do you mean?
So,
There's been several episodes.
Who said that?
Can I finish?
Let her finish.
Yeah.
Plenty of people have been bitching and moaning. Well, he's anti-gun, so why is he shooting a movie with guns in it? He's allowed to. It's a free country. We're allowed to produce and make any movies we want to. So next time people want to criticize this, then criticize all the Christian conservatives that have raised awareness or made a movie with an abortion scene in it. Period.
I don't know if there is any, but I do actually.
There is. There's been several, not a movie, but there's several shows that are very conservative that tackle the information regarding abortion.
I also, and I think it's a big deal to talk about the fact that there should not be, and this is directly to our audience. We've been baited into the same thing as people going like, oh, look at that unveed person that died. It's the exact same thing, and it's very, very ugly and very, very dangerous.
And also, if we're going to highlight Alec Baldwin, then I'm going to need you guys to talk about every accidental shooting that happens. Because I don't see anybody talking about those.
I think it's a bigger issue that if Alec Baldwin, I think you can make a movie because it's the industry, it's the art of it. It is what it is. But if he was shooting a gun that day for fun earlier, I think that does change the dynamic a bit. Moving on, let's go ahead and talk about companies such as In-N-Out. I had an In-N-Out burger. The day that I found out that they stood up to the mandates in California, I enjoyed it, even though I do not love In-N-Out, and Woody enjoyed the second half of it. That's my dog, not my penis. And I had to be clear. Barb, not that face. No need for that. Anyways.
Oh, dick jokes never go away.
I love that the 27-year-old liked it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's the veteran liked it, okay?
So, how many of you guys were impressed about In-N-Out stand very much so like some of the other companies? Who is an In-N-Out fan?
I'm from California. What the fuck do you mean?
Define. Hang on, you're being vague. In-N-Out fan of the food or what they're doing?
What they're doing.
Both.
What they're doing.
I went to church with the In-N-Out family, actually. They went to my church when I was growing up. We used to trick-or-treat at the In-N-Out house. They had trees that went across their yard in the X form. You
need Jesus. Okay,
yeah.
So...
I'm worshiping it now, my God.
I'm kidding. So here's why I think it's cool. And Suni, and I knew that Suni was. We got to have Jelani back on a show, by the way. Jelani, you're going to come on a show soon. I think it's a big deal because In-N-Out is a California staple, and they were one of the first companies to give a big fat "sorry, Nancy, fuck you" to the mandate, and they said why. And honestly, seeing the outrage on my post, there's a lot of people that agree. And then lately, there's just been a mass horde of lefties that are like, I would never eat there. That's garbage. I could never let somebody unvaccinated touch my food. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, God, stay home. But with that said, Suni, I know, disagreed because you were bigger on, you think Rihanna was more important than In-N-Out. Why?
Rihanna.
Or no, was sorry, Nikki. Sorry, Nikki.
Oh, like what? Because Nikki has direct influence on culture. There's a whole demographic that doesn't know who the fuck In-N-Out is. Like straight up, they don't know who that is. They don't buy their food, and I think this is a half-assed attempt to actually stand up for Americans. I think following the great Ian Smith and keeping your business open would definitely have me on their team, but they shut down their San Francisco business. So there's no reason for me to support it.
It's still open.
No. Yeah,
Since when? I just read several articles where they shut down.
Outdoor. It's outdoor only.
That's my
two
point.
Things.
Like
the health department shut them down, so they have to comply. It's by law they have to comply.
Because
the health department came in.
It's not a gym.
Cannot have it. There's two things. One is this mandate, which has not been mandated yet, will apply if it gets applied to businesses with 100 employees or more. So most local businesses will not have to comply the same way that big businesses will, which is a huge milestone marker, which means that there are only so many businesses that can fight this, and they are going to be big businesses. So In-N-Out, whether or not you know it or not, is a staple of the West Coast. And
exactly,
if you know West
and
Coast
Texas.
culture,
I'm not on the West Coast.
No, yeah.
So I could care
but
less.
I do,
I'm just
right?
telling
and
you,
so,
being honest.
As much
I don't
as you
care,
can
though.
say,
You're asking me.
People know Nikki.
But he's asking me why I don't agree, and I'm telling him why I don't
let her
agree.
finish.
I'm not going to debate with anybody about why I don't agree. I don't agree because I don't live on the West Coast. I have no clue who In-N-Out is. It is not important to me. Millions of people worldwide know who Nikki is. Whether you want to give her credit or not, there are people in Japan that were talking about her statement. There are people all over this globe that were talking about her statement. That is my personal opinion. I don't like what they did.
Could it be possible, Suni, that both have a very I think you're do I think that Nikki worldwide has a bit more stretch? Absolutely. I don't think you understand how big of a deal In-N-Out is. It's not just West Coast. It's all the way through Texas, through Louisiana. It's sweet. There's an L across the country.
It's in Colorado now too.
And people literally in the world
12-hour lines here.
Cheeseburgers. Yeah, when they open a place, you'll have hour plus lines for the first month.
It's worldwide understood to be a brand.
It is.
Let's put it this way.
Deal.
White college-educated liberals know what In-N-Out is. So it comes down to it's not that, maybe Nikki was more impactful in one area and she absolutely was on the cultural level, but from a business standpoint, In-N-Out also has a very significant impact. They get at two different things. Nikki was giving the people the ability to think for themselves. In-N-Out was saying, hey, look, we're going to, from a business, if you are a business owner operating a business, we're going to stand against them. And it works in an entirely different playing field, because not only is In-N-Out well known just culturally throughout the West Coast and everything, in the business world, it is really seen as one of those top tier businesses. You aspire to how they run. In the business world, In-N-Out, everybody knows what In-N-Out is because it's a very successfully run business. So they have different impacts in different areas that are both important. One's importance in one facet is very different from the others in the other facet. So
why can't I just not give a shit? Why is it a big deal? You
don't have to. No one's making you give a shit.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. But let me explain this. We talk about unifying people, right? And we want to unify. I told you I didn't like what Nicki Minaj was doing because I didn't see it going anywhere. What has Nicki Minaj done since that video?
Look. What do you mean?
In-N-Out. She has not done.
What's the app called? That's bullshit. Just because don't know, she's on the app that everybody else is on outside of social media where they post it on.
Wouldn't we all know?
Yeah, if she was if she's relevant, everyone would know about it.
It's just different.
In all of culture,
you're allowed to like In-N-Out, bro. I personally don't give a fuck.
Let me explain to you why this is a big deal.
I don't need to though, because Either way you describe it,
So,
I'm not changing my stance on
Stoonie,
it.
do you remember in the beginning with Nikki, you actually disagreed with me when I said she was the hero we need, and you said she's not a hero.
That's a hero.
Well, I explained.
Neither was Harvey Dent.
But you were very against anybody jumping on the Nikki bandwagon very early. When I was like, let's see. When you have any kind of large name of
she's a contrarian.
Anything like this is a big deal, and you came around to agree with me, and I think that's. And I'm not trying to hero. I'm not saying she's a hero. I'm saying it's very significant. I was using the parlance of our time, the phrase of not the hero we expected, but the hero we need. It's somebody that can create change. In-N-Out is a company that is as liberal looking on the outside as humanly possible. West Coast, and honestly, more people know about In-N-Out than you think. And I have a question. How big do you think, if somebody's a big company, what do you think their yearly revenue has to reach to become a big deal in the country?
I'm sure millions.
They're worth $3 billion, and they've done. They're going to be doing this year over $1 billion of revenue with 16,000 employees.
And they are a very Christian company. Like I said, I knew them from church because, especially after the parents died in the plane accident, the daughter became very involved with our church, and she was. They are completely family owned. She is the only one that has any ownership. Well, but what's important is it doesn't matter the other 49 states. The fact of the matter is that In-N-Out above all is the California staple. When you come to California, you go to In-N-Out. That's just what you do as a tourist, no matter what country you're from.
You go to so many times, bro, and I've never been there.
That's honestly that's
you should change
that's very surprising.
Family there. I've never been there.
But you got to understand the environment currently culturally in California is one of people who are against it are afraid to speak up. And In-N-Out, that literally is huge.
Person.
You are, I'm not saying that you have to care or anything, but I'm explaining why people who view it as significant do view it as significant, because it represents a chink in the liberal California armor right now. And it's given people in California a way to speak up and start to feel maybe they can have the courage to start speaking out against this as well.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was getting to. Is way we can unify people and actually do it around something that makes a whole lot of sense and actually can move forward because they are taking action. Other people are not taking action. It's all talk. And they do that because they use their celebrity status and those type of things when we should really back people that are doing things and get behind them and support them so we can unify as a country and move in the proper direction. If we want to ignore certain categories because, it's a big corporation, fine.
I'm one person, man.
Yeah, you are.
I get it. No.
We all
this
are.
response is weird. Like, I'm literally one person with an opinion.
So
I want you to know I'm not trying to force you to think anything.
No, here's actually my thought process. And it's not about the fact that you have to care. I don't think you have to care. That's not my point. Do you understand why we think it's significant? I think that's
and you're entitled to that.
So that's all that matters.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
that's all that matters. Is I think I'm trying to argue this that there is a reason, because I think that what we're getting from you, or what we got from you, especially in the conversation that started this discussion, is we felt as though you were like, you're full of shit. This is no big fucking deal. Like, it's not even an issue. Whereas I think that it can be significant for people that feel a certain way. I will tell you, Suni, that every time I went to California in work groups, in seminars, whenever I went, the first thing was, when are we taking the group field trip to In-N-Out? I know it's fucking weird, but that is honest to God. It's kind of a big thing in California. I'm surprised you haven't eaten there, but I don't care if you don't care. What I would say is I'm trying to let you understand why there is a large group of people that finds what they did significant as somebody that is based in an area of what is the beginning of communism.
And I'll be the asshole. Their food tastes like shit.
Fuck you.
I agree. I think it's mediocre. I'm a Carl's Jr. guy. I like Carl's Jr.
Your opinion matters.
You mean
nothing.
Hardee's?
Shut the ever-living hell up.
Arby's.
Jesus Christ. Carl's Jr.? Oh my God.
There is nothing like a bacon Western cheeseburger. I will find you. I will hunt you down. Oh, and I'm going to give you a little secret about Carl's Jr.'s chicken fingers. I'm not even a chicken finger fan. They will blow your mind. I'm telling you.
They're trash.
Let me address this.
Carl's Jr. sucks, right?
I don't have to agree with everything these people on this screen say.
No.
I don't.
No, you don't.
And if I don't agree, I'm going to stand firm on what I say. I'm not bending. I'm not breaking. The peer pressure doesn't affect me. I personally don't care for what they're doing. I don't think it's going to spread massively across the country. That is my opinion.
Can I counter that really quick?
But why? I want to know why. Before Kevin, I want to know why.
You know why? Because number one, not everybody knows about it. You have so many people in this comment section saying, I don't even know what the fuck In-N-Out is. There's a whole demographic that has no clue what this
But a lot of people said they do now. They've known now in the last week. That's great.
But I'm just, you're asking me why. It doesn't have any relevance to me. Like, I'm telling you why.
So
and nobody's mad. There's nothing. I'm not mad. But I got a bunch of people jumping on me like, why not? Because I don't care.
I don't care. I just want to say, because I was at a meeting last night. So Larimer County, where I'm at, is trying to push out a mask mandate and a vaccine passport that's going on. But last night I was at a meeting that involved like some of the businesses in the area. There was about 10 or 15 businesses present, and like when In-N-Out, somebody brought up In-N-Out, and there was a bunch of these business owners that were like all about it. They loved what In-N-Out was doing, and it's giving them the courage to know that they can actually stand up. So I do just want to push back a little bit on the idea that it's not really spreading, but I totally like I'm not here to make you like change your opinion on it in the slightest, right? Like I do just want to counter it where I have personally an anecdote. The plural of anecdotes is not data. So, that's just in my own experience, just in the last couple of days.
Honestly, I think that I just want to have a conversation about why it could be deemed significant. With that said, we're going to move on. I saw a comment and I can't friggin' find it. First off, thank you, Mr. Marley.
Stevie Marley.
Stevie. Thank you.
I love your Grandpa Bob.
What's that one?
Everybody's like, I don't care about Nikki. I'm not freaking out. Well, why not?
Welcome to America.
See, I fight for anybody that's standing up, no matter their. And that's why I don't give a shit.
So that's the distinction here: is we should elevate those that are standing up, making this stand, because it allows for others that are smaller and have less resources to do the same. And so for us to draw a distinction between Nikki and In-N-Out is sort of ridiculous. We should be elevating them both. Saying when you're right, you're fucking right, and we got to recognize that. We got to be around it, and then we have to say, doesn't mean I like the company, doesn't mean I like other positions that they take, but on this issue, this is a stance that we all agree on.
Yeah, like Nikki can dress like a hoe sometimes, but I love that she stood up. So for this person, why are we no longer talking about Afghanistan? That's a great question, because
let's talk about Afghanistan.
I'm gonna skip ahead.
Like Alec Baldwin. That's why.
Yeah, I know exactly. And that's what we're gonna talk a little bit about. Like, we're just gonna talk about Afghanistan briefly. But was it Fox News reported that the Pentagon stated that there are still 450 American citizens stuck in Afghanistan, which
they're there voluntarily.
That's pretty crazy. I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know what to do. I think it's absolutely crazy. So,
what is that app you can post on and you have a ton of people? It's like a messenger app. Telegram. There you go. Nicki Minaj has a Telegram. She said it on her live. That's where she would be posting stuff.
I can't. Linwood has a Telegram.
Yeah,
this is what I mean. Don't ask me where else she's posting, and then when I say it, you discount it. I'm telling you where she's active.
It's what is she doing?
She's doing what she can.
What is she doing?
Exactly. Like she's
doing what she can. Phrase it when someone's taking the right action and using their platform the way they should to stand against tyranny. I don't care who you are.
Is she standing against tyranny? Are you following her Telegram?
As far as I know, she took a big stand against tyranny.
I don't know where
she did one video on Instagram.
She did.
I follow her Telegram, and I get notified every time she makes a post.
Which one is her
Does she stand against tyranny?
Which one is her Telegram?
Well, she stands against Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, apparently, if she's going to Telegram. So that's a pretty good start.
It is a decent start. But what else are you doing?
So
I don't know which. Can I ask what her Telegram is? Because the one that I follow is
Nicki Minaj. Just type in Nicki Minaj.
I know, but I'm telling you, the one that I have has 7,500 subscribers. I know that's not it, because the last one I have is Hunter doing the deed with Malia Obama, and that's clearly fake crap. Then there's the @Nicki Minaj Real, and I still don't know what that one is.
Hang on, I'll post it in the private chat.
All right.
There you
Anyways,
go.
somebody just said Linwood.
It's nothing.
I don't know. When somebody speaks up, good.
I'm
Thank
all
you
for
for
it.
speaking up. I don't
I'm with
think
you
we
there,
should
Suni.
shit on anybody.
100%.
Just like I'm not shitting on In-N-Out. I just personally don't care. That's just
Hey,
it.
fair
How
enough.
does Nicki Minaj only have 2,980 subscribers? That's my question.
Correct.
That doesn't make
Because-
He's
sense.
making an impact.
I don't
And
get
that's
it.
what I
Like,
mean. When it
People
comes
would
to
say
Nicki
you're not
Minaj-
doing anything because you're just sitting on social media talking, but we're
Well,
doing
no,
a lot.
I still
We're
appreciate
doing a
Nicki,
lot.
but I appreciate
Yeah.
Nicki. I'm appreciating both. I'm just saying
I'm
I was
appreciating
actually
anyone.
asking the question because I've had trouble. I'm like, that can't be Nicki Minaj.
I'm just
that
saying.
can't be. So I don't know. Anyways, moving
No,
on.
this is her true Telegram.
Let me see here.
All right.
Yeah, 2980.
So- So we talked a little bit about the Afghanistan, but we're going to talk about, and this is easy. He brought this to my attention, that we started looking more into it. So talk a little bit about Iran and the drone strike in Syria.
I'll speak about it kind of on the broad end that we kind of talked about, kind of back end, which is that Iran is a proxy state essentially for both Russia and China. They both use it to funnel money, weapons, cash, drugs, all sorts of things, right? And so China has been pretty unequivocally unapologetic about their intention to reinstate the Silk Road, which historically, if anybody doesn't understand the context of what that is, essentially the trade from eastern side of China to Europe, okay? And the only reason I speak specifically on that is because it's to the broader point of Iran has now gone and made a military strike, or so it appears, against a military installment in the southern region of Syria that was an American installment. And the reason that that's significant is because, as Suni has talked about a lot, and we've kind of talked about it as a group, is that we're seeing China make moves all over the world right now. And one of the moves that has been waited to be played out is how is Iran going to respond once we've pulled out of Afghanistan and are effectively nowhere in the middle of this conflict. And I think Iran, whether or not, again, it's a little dicey on the details, but we're learning a little more as the Pentagon opens that door. And what it appears to me is that Iran has made a first strike. They've gone ahead and tested the waters. And that's a personal summation of what I think is happening here. But the reason I think it's relevant to the larger issue is because if Iran is able to do this to American troops in Syria, the next place might be Taiwan. It might be Japan. It very well could be in one of the Middle Eastern regions. And I think people need to stop kidding themselves about what the Middle East actually is. They are proxy
Kevin,
states.
Are you okay, Kevin? What is going on? Can't hear you. I've been watching him watch you, and it's literally, I thought there might be some kind of firefight outside of his window.
Yeah, I was wondering if Iran bombed him or something. That's
No,
kind of
can't
what I was
hear you.
thinking.
Can't
They
hear
shut
you,
him
Kevin.
down.
That was scary.
So
Anyways.
in that sense, it is an important topic because Iran is a signifier for Russia and China, and in my opinion, has been a single unifier between those two powers for some time now. And it concerns me to see that they are able to make offensive strikes and seemingly do it without repercussion. Now,
yeah,
it's
the military-industrial
who's
complex, bro. The war machine is spinning back up. They're doing whatever they can to get us back into a fucking war because we just got out of a fucking war. So what is going to happen? They're trying to find a reason to justify the $1 trillion budgets, the $1 trillion+ budgets. Again, this is all a smokescreen. None of it fucking matters. Just let the Middle East do what it wants to do. At the end of the day, it's the military industrial complex trying to get more of our children killed, more innocent people killed, more money put in their bank accounts because that's all they really care about. That's why this is going on. That's why there's a drone strike on an American base in Syria. You think that they're not going to know a drone's in the air above them? You think that Iran's going to be able to sneak a drone over any U.S. base? No. It's the military industrial complex saying, hey, yeah, let's start getting involved again. Let's start sending our soldiers around the world again. Let's start imposing our and making that money. Don't Like, that's what this is. And I'm sorry, like, I am getting really pissed off because this is the most clear and obvious sign of a military industrial complex that does not give a shit about anything other than going to war, trying to find another freaking excuse at the end of the day.
100%. Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't know that it's all internal, though. I do think that there is external force. I think China is the external force. So I'll just add that. One of the interesting pieces to this Iran strike is that there is some talk now of them saying, go ahead, we're not interested in any sort of nuclear de-escalation, which signifies one of two things. Either they're being backed by somebody with nuclear weapons, or they have achieved nuclear weapons and are no longer willing to have that conversation. I think that is something that's important to this. But I think, Kevin, you're right.
With the military starting to mobilize, as we're learning right now, Air Force, military, and Sunni, obviously, you're kind of on that part of the world, and you have a opinion that this might be a smokescreen for Taiwan. Alec Baldwin might be a smokescreen for Taiwan. Who really knows?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Nancy. What is your husband saying? What are they talking about? What are your thoughts on this new militarization that we're going through?
I mean, it's just like what Kevin said. We are gearing up for a war. This is about Taiwan. This is not about anything else. This is about China and their moves on Taiwan and how America is going to respond. Alec Baldwin is definitely a distraction because nobody talked about the fact that Biden said they would stand up for Taiwan, and nobody talked about the fact that the White House came out and said, "Nah, we're going to be strategic about this."
Yeah. He didn't mean to say that.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well,
Casey, all right.
Libertarian, what's your take on this bullshit? Please be libertarian with me.
I agree with you. I don't know enough about the Iran stuff because that was stuff I just learned from Eric just before the show started.
Which Casey, that happened 5 days ago, and somehow it's not major news. Like, that's a big friggin' deal. But at the same time, Kevin made it seem like it should be a bigger deal if they're trying to, again, create the war machine. But
so what has happened in the last 5 days?
Alec Baldwin?
More mandate talks and all of that stuff.
Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito, still a story. How? I have no friggin' idea.
He got eaten by gators.
So that's why I bring that up, is I asked that question, is because there's a lot of things to pay attention to right now, and I think this is all intent of the government. Like, I'm super annoyed. I said this last night on Sunni's show. After watching HBO's documentary on January 6th, I'm really pissed. I'm trying to figure out how I can put together a show and not be removed.
Let me watch it. I'll watch it, and then we could do a show.
We could do a live watch along and tell people when to start it, and then we comment as it goes without its audio playing.
Actually, let me stop you really quick, Casey. And I don't know if Sunni, I don't know who's talked to Cash at all, but I told Cash about how there's articles written about the thing on HBO, and I go, bro, they're saying it was like a war and yada yada yada. So the people he's in there with right now are they've added more people to that wing, and he's like, they're the worst of the worst, bro. And he's like, there was, whether you're looking at 500 to 700,000, whatever people there was a solid group of people that were preparing for war that day. And he's like, their true colors have started to show. So I think there is some stuff that we're missing. And as somebody that was there, I don't see that at all. But I think there is a subsect that if we continue to ignore, it makes us look foolish and there's pie on our face. But 100 out of however many, and there was no fires. It wasn't BLM. There wasn't true riots, but there was some dangerous elements that did happen that day. But,
and they highlighted all of it, and only that.
And only that.
They also do the other part that I got to figure out how we can make this and not get in trouble is how do we put it all together, present it, and just be able to show the full clips, because they cut most of them in half or less, and they didn't show the whole thing. And I have a lot of the clips that they showed. I have them. But the part that also pisses me off, why is there more surveillance video from body-worn cameras and the Capitol in that video than what has been released to help anybody that is going to court?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Yeah. And so, anyways, that's where a lot of this stuff comes from right now, is I'm like, everything that's going on, I'm like, this is trying to hold on to all of it. I saw a comment earlier today asking, just as we were starting, about my wife's vaccine stuff. They extended it. I'm going to just touch on this real quick. They extended her deadline to November 15th, conveniently. So I think because they didn't get enough submissions to be able to get exemptions, that they're going to lose a lot of people. And so they extended it, hoping more people will submit. So we're going to keep going. But I'm still there will be another video coming about very, very soon about what I've learned and what I will be submitting. And so people will know that. But anyways, so all of this stuff that is going on is what makes this difficult to deal with. Is they want to overwhelm us with information and activity. And so then you can't pay attention. You have to just pick one and run with it, type of thing. And that is why the system is built the way it is, and the system behaves the way they do. Now, and that's all my opinion around it. But yes, that is it.
Yep. I agree, actually, there's sentiment that we all agree about on that one. And I think China testing a nuclear weapon that could be whatever. There's so many things happening around the world right now that this is not the time for the United States to look weak, and we look weak as shit right now.
But I don't make the I just think to myself, DARPA is definitely doing some shit that goes above and beyond anything we will ever see until the day it needs to be revealed. So
what is DARPA?
That's the Department of Defense Advanced Research Program.
I don't know acronyms. Sorry.
Yeah, so DARPA.
I admit when I don't know.
DARPA is where everything that comes. The mRNA vaccine was a grant awarded by DARPA to do further study into mRNA. Gotcha. By the way, so mRNA, just because I've heard, I'm not going to say anything about that other thing at all. I'm just going to point out that there are people who say that mRNA things do not do any damage or altering to DNA. mRNA was first developed as a technology to address cancer, but because of the long-term effects that it has on DNA, they stopped using it for that. So,
if anybody hasn't seen the new Bond movie right now, you should go see it because I don't know when they wrote it or what alterations they made, but it's literally about a virus that has nanobots and affects anyways, I'll leave it there. I'll let you guys watch it. I was like, oh, here we are.
But for your guys' sake, DARPA is where it's like DARPA is so you don't find out what DARPA is doing until DARPA needs to reveal what DARPA is doing. That's where the internet was created, was in DARPA.
As a side note, we should need to do another show. Oh well. Go
ahead. No, go ahead. I'm just gonna say right now, so that, everybody has their comfort food. Like when my dad was living in Vegas, the reason I love the Carl's Jr. and I don't eat a lot of fast food. The Carl's Jr. Double Weston Bacon Cheeseburger is the taste that I can tell you right now is like that food that makes me happy, makes me think of my dad. I can't explain it. That is my favorite thing on the planet. Anyways, in terms of
don't disagree.
Okay, so good got ring, their special barbecue sauce. All right, so
okay,
Suni, I know you're going to be going to the hospital soon. That's a true story for anybody just joining us. She's got 3 kidney stones. So what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about the transgender R word with the parent, Obama, etc., or Fauci still having a job, or Biden's no good, very bad week?
I think we should talk about Biden. He said a lot of important things.
A lot of important things. I like that. Let me bring up this video real quick because you also have one on your page, the Brandon. But I want this one to me is a little bit more. The Brandon thing is literally like you can't make this shit up, and I think I can bring that up too because that's on your page. Actually, Suni, will you grab that from your page and bring that up, your Instagram page? I'm gonna bring up the one that he did regarding. Let's see, where is it? I had it. There it is. Benny Johnson shared it.
Benny is as 1 in 3 emergency responders in some cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, right here in Baltimore, are refusing to comply with city vaccine mandates. I'm wondering where you stand on that. Should police officers, emergency responders be mandated to get vaccines? And if not, should they be stay at home or let go?
Yes and yes.
Fake clapping. Definite fake clapping. Stop it at 20 seconds. Just because I want to make sure that we don't get flagged on it. All right, real quick.
By the way, I waited until July to talk about mandating.
Actually, no, he talked about mandating well before that. To be very crap, did I get off of it? He talked about this stupid shit thing. It's gonna start
as many as one.
Whatever. He actually talked about mandating well before that because he said he would never enforce a mandate because he didn't think he could. So technically, he was talking about it well before then. We don't need to see any more of that clip because we don't want CNN to remove it. But yeah, so that's what I got on that one. And he literally just shamed first responders that have been working their ass off through this pandemic while he's been shoving fucking rusty tire irons up his ass in his basement for the last year and a half.
I just want to point out the absolute arrogance by people on the left. I see it every time when I'm on Reddit, Facebook. Doesn't freaking matter. The left, especially on Reddit. Reddit is a really good metric of where like your young leftists are at. When they see that, when they saw that it was an athlete that was saying no, idiot, the guy's an idiot. When it was a politician, the guy's an idiot. When it was a conservative, the guy's an idiot. At no point do they ever stop and say to themselves that it is possible for someone intelligent to deny the thing, right? At all times, everyone who denies it is a misinformed, and my internet's cutting out.
No, you're good. We see.
Okay. Yeah, no, a misinformed is a misinformed Trump-loving maniac. It can't be the case. It is the case that all 3,000 nurses that are being let go in New York and all however many thousand that are being let out, nurses, like not just CNAs, not, we're talking like freaking top-level nurses that any doctor will tell you are in one of the most vital aspects of the entire medical field, right? Somehow, some way, no matter how many of them give up, they're all idiots. They're all maniacs. They're all misinformed. None of them are intelligent. None of them have any, basis by which to put any of their doubt. It's absolute arrogance. And it is, to me, it's just like, how do you possibly think you are this right about things?
I get it. Show this clip too. Go ahead and show. Yeah, Suni, bring up the Brandon clip because this is just insane. Go ahead.
Could you do me a favor and tell the president what you've told me and so many other people about what Lynn means to you for your care?
Without her, I would not be able to have the life that I have. And there are thousands of people like me every day who, without these wonderful people that welcome me, would not be able to live the life that they live. They give us a
interesting cut.
Life.
And give you hope.
They're going to try to turn this into the Let's Go Brandon.
So much for the Build Back Better point. And
this was a few days ago.
His name is Brandon. They're going to try to replace Let's Go Brandon with this guy. I promise you.
Can I ask a dumb question? What in God's name does the Build Back Better plan have to do with somebody that has cerebral palsy? Can somebody, because I'm not going to lie, there's been caretakers for the last 50 years that deal with people with cerebral palsy and help them and have cared for them and have done all these things. How can somebody on the left, which I invite on every show, and they always stop right when I say, do you want to have a live conversation over and over? Can somebody please tell me how this isn't an exploitation of somebody that is disabled? Please, God,
it is an
tell
exploitation. I'm telling you, this is incredibly important. This is how the left works. They specifically picked someone with cerebral palsy, incredibly sick, that is visibly sick, and is clearly an awesome story, named Brandon, because they are going to try to manipulate the fact that Let's Go Brandon is currently super strong against Biden. They need to neutralize that as soon as possible. They are going to use this as a way to start. They are going to try to push this on social media that when people are saying Let's Go Brandon, they're talking about this guy with cerebral palsy that was standing there with Joe Biden. It is not code for, FJB. Hashtag.
Okay. He's not an actor. He is not an actor.
He's not an actor, but he was deliberately picked. He was deliberately selected. Very deliberately selected. He is not an actor, but they are going to use this man.
I don't know how this does. If this doesn't blow up in their face, that shows you how buried head in the sand the left is, because this is disgusting. As somebody with a disabled, handicapped father, me, this is disgusting and egregious. And as somebody that follows Denzel, by the way, happy birthday if you're watching the show. I know he doesn't agree politically with us, but Denzel's birthday was last week. He's got cerebral palsy. He's been on some of our shows. To use somebody like this specifically by the name Brandon, to make up something about the Build Back Better plan having something to do with this, like you can't not see the disgusting hypocrisy in like this is one of the most disgusting things I have seen this administration do, and they've left people in Afghanistan. This to me is up there because of the way I feel about the disabled community and the fact that this is as disgusting as it gets. And if the left doesn't see this, I don't know. And notice that wasn't on CNN. I want to see that replayed.
Guys, when was this video posted? Let me ask that question.
I don't know.
October 22nd. It's already blown up in their face because it's not working.
Yeah. It was the attempt, though.
Yeah, it was the attempt, which is where, I did a whole video talking about it. It's not working. None of this is working. And the sad part is no one knows about this video. That is what needs to be talked about. Everybody should be talking about what is happening right now. And when we're talking about what Joe Biden has done, literally, if anybody wants to go look it up, find out. It was on his Twitter. It's still there right now, October 22nd. Posted 7:41 a.m. Mountain Time is what it would be on mine. That's where we're looking at this situation. It's been used, and no one is talking about it because it didn't work. It's blowing up in their face, and it's not going anywhere.
Yep.
What's ironic is we're about to spend trillions of dollars, and the programs that actually help the disabled, and my father's been talking about it. Well, he was before he passed away. He'd been talking about how poorly treatment is across the country for disabled people. Yep. And I don't even know. You would think if that was the Build Back Better plan and that was why they had Brandon, you should probably have a speaking point there. Like part of Build Back Better, we are going to be spending $1.7 billion for XYZ. I don't see it. I can't find it. It's 5,000 pages. So you should probably have it at the tip of your tongue instead of throwing somebody out there and just saying, hey, look at this guy. He's disabled. His name's Brandon. That to me is the biggest FU that Biden could have. That Suni, you posted that on your page. Suni, you posted that on your page. What do you think about it?
I didn't know about it. Casey brought it up, so I just posted it because I think it's all it's just disingenuous.
Yep.
You know, and just as much as this guy's being used, we could all extend some grace to Biden because he's clearly not functioning. They have him there as he's a puppet, man.
Yeah.
This is elder abuse.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah,
both sides are shitty, man. You know,
that's
both
like the
sides
Inception, and I agree. It's literally like Inception using each other. The guy that's being used as an elderly person and senile, the president of the United States, is using another guy that is disabled. It's disgusting. And Rhonda, by the way, my father had MS as well. He had a remitting, relapsing, or actually no, he had progressive debilitating. But anyways, yes, I get that. It's to me, this is as low as it gets, and they've done some low shit. Let's see. Biden's bad week. His no good, very bad week.
He legitimately, by the way, he was showing physical symptoms of Alzheimer's, like the hand clenching thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's an actual telltale sign because you're like trying to shut down as many of your other. You like try to shut down so much to get focus up here that. It's a telltale sign.
I could. That went on for over 12 seconds.
It's abuse because at the end of the day, Joe Biden, no matter his age, his dream was to be president. The man has been in politics for 47 years. Like he wanted to be president. He's going. The thing is they wanted a puppet, but he wanted to be president legitimately. He thinks he's there legitimately. He's brain dead. They can kind of control him, but he's kind of pushing back, which is why everything is failing so spectacularly. Because at the end of the day, what they have is a semi-present puppet that knows that it's like a half awake Pinocchio, if you will. Just enough to push back and not have everything run smoothly, but a puppet enough that like you're able to exert enough control that you can get some of the things that you want, but it's broken. And it's despicable, it's disgusting, and it's exactly what I would expect from politicians, not Republicans or Democrats, from fucking politicians.
Agreed.
Not the same thing, man.
Sorry, what's that?
I was reading that comment. It's not the same thing. He didn't smoke his way into Alzheimer's, man. My grandfather has Alzheimer's and dementia. So these just insensitivity, man. Like, I don't like Joe Biden. I think he's a racist, probably the most racist politician we're going to see in our lifetime. Yeah. But he's a human. Yeah, he's a human, man. Say a prayer. You ain't got to like the dude, but geez.
God judges us based on how we treat our enemies.
Exactly. The
Great
golden
statement.
rule.
I think that. I thought Rachel said a lot of Alzheimer's patients have sudden outbursts of anger and says the word salad. I was like, are we waiting for him to say salad?
Those are it too.
I'm just waiting for him to go, am I still talking on this thing? Salad.
He did that at a rally, basically. Like, there was a rally that had ended, or not a rally, but a speech he was giving that had ended, and then he just wandered back to the microphone and started talking into it. Like, just literally everyone's going off stage, and he just wanders back up to the microphone. Jill had to come over and pull him away. Like, it is like the man shouldn't. He's mentally.
He also said, "What am I doing here?" in his town hall.
It's sad.
That town hall was embarrassing. All right, so let's really quick, because I know that Suni is going to like this topic, and I know she's got to go soon.
Before we move on, I think it's important to talk about how Biden says he's willing to eliminate the filibuster to pass voting rights. And, Kamala is going to be taking his place, and this is probably the first thing they're going to pick up once she gets into office. That town hall was very important. As much as I cringe watching it, it was very important, man.
You're 100% correct.
It was terrifying. It's important and terrifying all at the same time, because we're about to have a totalitarian, authoritarian. We already did, and they're about to make it so that there can't be. Yeah. And honestly, as Suni's been saying a lot lately, the right is complicit.
They're not doing anything.
They are not fighting back. It's sad when the people like the Nickies of the world, the in and outs of the world, are having to do more. I love that Suni's wearing the Whataburger orange right now.
Steve Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are the two most powerful people in America.
This is North Face. Don't ever disrespect my North Face.
I said it's a Whataburger orange. You're talking shit about In-N-Out by wearing the Whataburger orange.
I don't know what that is either.
Seriously though, Kirsten Sinema and Steve Manchin are the only thing preventing absolute tyranny. But the thing is that Steve Manchin, if he's not retiring, it all comes down to, is he retiring after this term or not? Because if he is, I don't know what he's going to do. But if he's not retiring, he has to stick conservative. He has to go conservative.
Just before you go, Manchin made a statement today, and he said Biden's. It's not even Biden, but we'll say the administration. Actually, we'll say this regime's their attempt to slip in the IRS looking at our funds is absolutely getting axed from the Build Back Better plan. I've been watching. They're slugging it out right now.
I do want to say that they're changing it from $600 individual transactions to $10,000 in total transactions throughout the year. AKA, if you make more than $10,000, they're still going to be spying on you. It is wrong. It needs to be stripped no matter what. It does not freaking matter. It needs to go away. This is, at what point are we going to say is enough? You don't get to invade our privacy any freaking more. That's just what it comes down to. I
should have mentioned this during the In-N-Out thing, and during the Nikki thing. I forgot to tell. I haven't even told you guys this. I am. I'm not. I relinquished my duties for Nissan, and for the company I work for. I put in my notice. I said, thank you for 12 years, but they are not allowing 6 workers to work because of their V status in LA, which technically at the or 5 workers now, but they're not allowed to. They are allowed to work if they get tested on their own accord, but because of the employer laws there, they are not. They're deciding to make it easier on themselves, and I was already kind of up to here, and I've not been able to work for about 1.5 years until just recently, and I wish somebody would have stood behind me the same way that I'm doing with them. So I am no longer doing that job, and I stood behind my morals. My amazing account manager, my account manager is awesome. And she's like, did you really have to send an email to the whole team? And I said, would you expect anything less?
Good for you. We need more people like you. I'm serious, man. We need more people that are willing to be uncomfortable, because that's what it's going to take to get things back to where they used to be. It is what it is. So good for you. I'm happy. Look.
I felt good. I went. I had a
Seriously.
celebratory dinner that night. I felt good. It's 12 great years, but I'm working with people that are amazing, and then I'm working with some of my closest friends that won't speak to me anymore. So it's a weird world, and I'm going to stand behind my morals and my laurels, and my
There
convictions.
you go.
So,
Principles only matter. Principles only matter in the moments when they are tested the most.
Yes.
Otherwise, you never held them.
Question: do you guys oppose the bad while also feeling sorry for the people that do it? I personally do not forgive extreme sins of the past. It's not your place to forgive anything. It's God's place. So I don't really understand this question.
I do. I think it's saying like, what if somebody did something really bad in the past and they've done everything to make up for it. Again, I think Suni answered it perfectly. I mean, there's certain things. I guess the question becomes: is there certain things that are unforgivable? Which takes us to our next topic. Let's talk about the transgender student that raped a female. And I used the R word. I wanted to make sure Suni was still here so we could say rape. I feel like that she makes it okay. I don't know why, but ultimately it's a true story.
Okay.
I mean, we need to have a female on the stage, but no, I mean this girl was raped. Was raped by a transgender after two. I know after 2 times, after already being in trouble. It's insane, and they've started the findings on it. And Obama spoke out, and it's amazing that we're so close to the Me Too movement. Obama is saying that this is a phony right-wing outrage situation.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand.
Everything on the right is something they shouldn't be outraged about. I deal with it fucking constantly with my leftist friends because, why are you reacting about the fact of what they did to Star Wars in The Last Jedi? Because it speaks to a broader cultural issue, okay? Why are you so upset about the girl moment in Marvel's Avengers Endgame? Because it speaks to a broader cultural narrative.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm allowed to be upset about whatever the ever-living fuck I want to. Sorry, Nancy.
Nancy went to bed. You could say whatever you want. Cock, shit, balls,
cool.
Whatever.
Yes, cool.
It's like cock shit.
I had to speak really because like this one comes down to I'm very involved in very niche spots of the culture. I love movie reviews. I love video games. I love getting involved in that kind of stuff. And when you see these things start to bleed over into that, it's a sign of a broader cultural issue. And especially when you're looking at like movies and TV shows of the day, they're all pushing similar messages. You have the Academy coming out and saying you are not eligible for Best Picture unless you meet diversity quotas. You have TV shows coming out. You have painted on the courts of NBA games last year. You had Black Lives Matter. Like at the end of the day, you do not get to decide for me what I'm allowed to worry about culturally, because to me, it all speaks to a broader cultural narrative that is being shaped and molded. And you telling me I can't speak out against what I see is a very specific sensorial part of that, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
Agreed. And so going back to her question, what if let's take this, and it sounds like he's only getting I actually have not seen, but I guess he was found guilty of non-consensual sex, which I think is bullshit, because I'm sure that carries a very mild sentence to somebody that, because I think the excuse, what did anybody say what the excuse was, that there was a bracelet that accidentally, they were using this in the defense, a bracelet accidentally caught the dress that caused the sexual whatever. It's absurd. They were using that and people believe it. Like it's that buried head in the sand. Like,
what is the anal sodomy?
Great question. I think it's just ridiculous. So what happens if this kid grows up, realizes they're wrong, and at the age of 50 becomes an amazing human being? Who is that up to decide whether or not they're forgiven for their sins if they ask for repentance? That's a tough one, because this to me is and the reason I bring that up, this to me is one of those ones like, can you ever actually rebound when you've either had pedophilia or raped somebody? That's tough.
You have to sincerely mean it. It's Jesus, God will know. right? I can decide I don't believe that you actually have repented and that you're actually sincere in your beliefs, but God will know. He will know truly if when you told me that you apologized for what you did to me, you meant it. I don't have to believe it. That doesn't matter. What matters is if you actually truly meant it, God will know. And if you actually truly do, there is no sin that cannot be truly repented for. But like, I don't have to care because that's between you and God. I can hold whatever position I want on it in this personal life, and then God can judge me for that as well, right?
I think that's valid, and ultimately, as Suni said, it's not our place.
Yeah,
it's not our place.
It's God's place. It's between Him and God.
Yeah. I mean, I think this stuff like this is definitely going to set the tone for other situations like this that might occur. And I feel like parents have every right to take matters into their own hands. I'm not saying go out and be violent, but if you fuck with one of mine, you're going to fuck around and find out. And if I have to take the jail sentence for my kid, I honestly have no problem doing that. Mm-hmm. Just because that's the ultimate violation of not only a young lady, but a young man as well. You don't just get to walk around. I'm gender fluid and just do weird stuff. This is why we need to call things out when they present themselves.
And it does a huge disservice to the very, 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 very small percentage of people that really do have severe issues with gender dysmorphia. Is that what it's called?
Dysphoria.
The people that have those issues that are legit, this screws them up. This literally, this takes them and makes them seem. It makes a bunch of people hate them when there is some people that have that condition. It's very rare, but we've celebrated it in this country, and the fact that this kid is getting a damn slap on the wrist based on what it seems like that is, all it is it's hurting their cause.
Did you not see what came out right beforehand? Terry McAuliffe Associated Law Firm is fighting Title IX to restrict reporting procedures so that this university or this school system can't get in more trouble for what it did. They are currently trying to make it so that these schools don't have to report a damn thing. What is Terry McAuliffe literally has signs going out that say, "Get parents out of school. Parents do not belong in school." Like they are not even hiding. They are not even hiding their messages anymore. They very clearly are scrambling right now because what are my big three that the government has to control? It is currency, violence, and education. And they are losing. They are on the brink of losing education. And that is the most terrifying thing. Because if you have education, those other two come very easily.
I agree.
That's a tough one. And then if you did something, as a parent, that's everything. Okay. This is a semantics conversation. It's tough because I don't know if I would genuinely, I guess I'd have to be in the moment. I don't know if I would genuinely feel bad if I did what I felt was just. So I don't.
Yeah. What is justice? The question is, what is justice? And and justice is equal consequence for your action. Be it positive or negative, is consequence based on your action. And whatever justice is in that scenario, we are not the arbiters of perfect justice. Only God is. Again, we can levy our own version of justice, but the true justice that matters is between you and God.
And ultimately, let's look at this. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Suni, because I was going to wrap that topic. You were about to say something. Go ahead.
No, she said, would you look for forgiveness or forget? The only person I care about forgiving me is God. Everything else is secondary. If I felt like I wanted forgiveness for something, then I would go to that person. But yeah, I don't know. I have the ability to just like write stuff off and not have a second thought about it. That's just me though.
So here's the issue. We're talking about a kid's bracelet getting stuck on a dress and raping a girl. We're talking about Alec Baldwin. We're talking about Gabby Petito. Because that's what our media wants to push, and that's what we're unfortunately doing as well. Meanwhile, we've got China creating nuclear weapons that we've never seen before, and our country is so worried about fucking gender fluidity when we are. And this is coming from somebody very tolerant of transgender and homo. I'm the most tolerant on this show. I think you guys
I don't
probably
give a
agree on
shit
that.
either way.
Right. Well, I'm just saying with all, it's gotten to a point where this is becoming
I just keep it away from kids.
Yeah, it's becoming dangerous. The fact that we are so big on letting people, whether it's in the military or whatever, just you be you. If you feel like no, guys, like there is still the one thing that I will stand by. If we are a country that believes in science, there is fucking man and there is woman. And then there is
transgender apologies aside, keep going with what you were talking about.
I like this new Russo.
But I still think transgender, they're great. There's amazing people. I think, but across the board, the fact that we have just politicized this and weakened our country, and for a bunch of people that are like, follow the science, look at the science. Science says there's man and woman with some very, very rare cases of gray. And that's it.
Let me ask you this, Russo. Why the fuck should you care about China? Who should care about China testing hypersonic nuclear missiles? You or DARPA?
DARPA. Now that I know what DARPA is.
So at the end of the day, who cares what China's testing? You are not going to know what we're doing.
Right.
That's what you don't have to give a fuck about hypersonic nuclear missiles. You're not going to be able to do shit about it. You don't know what our military is doing. Shit is hidden behind so many levels of top secret. You're never going to know what our military is actually doing behind the scenes.
Well, we're not doing much if we're letting drones strike our military bases in Syria.
Are we not letting that happen on purpose?
You might be right.
Are we like, why would that possibly happen when we have the capabilities? So what you have to start asking yourself is, why would someone want to convince you should feel guilty about focusing on the things you can affect rather than things you have no possibility of affecting? Deciphering between the two is what's important, because you will never be able, there is no way possible we can cover in a 24-hour show all the things that happen every single day that need to be covered. Never, ever, ever is that ever going to happen. But what we do speak on, what matters is what we are speaking on. Are we knowledgeable on it? Do we present an opinion on it that is grounded in consistent logic to ourselves, whatever that may be? So we need to stop feeling guilty about the fact that we're not talking about this, because there's so many things that you could point to that we're not talking about. What matters is what we are talking about. Are we actually giving good perspectives? Are we giving solid arguments? Are we really actually analyzing it effectively? Do not feel guilty about what we can and can't cover, about what we do and we don't talk about, because at the end of the day, everybody's talking about everything. The person that's making you feel guilty about not talking about this subject is talking about that subject with a bunch of other people. And in fact, they're doing what they need to do. They're at least bringing awareness to it. You can't cover everything. Stop letting people make you feel guilty for not, because there's a reason they do.
Jelani just said they put him on a 30-day Facebook jail because of something. Is it because of this show? How? Well, if it is,
sorry, rant over. By the way, that
was good. If indeed it is for this show, that's ridiculous, because I don't know what it would have been on this show. But speaking of that, we do have a platform set up very soon where we will have a full off the cuff conversations after this show or something along with it. Jelani, shoot me how are you commenting it? Shoot me a message. Let me know what's going on. All right, let's wrap this up.
I think he's joking. He's been cracking jokes all night.
He has been very funny. But never know. Jelani's let's talk about.
But let me just put it this way:
it's because of what he said. Sorry, go ahead.
Our intelligence assets knew that China was testing that missile probably about 6 months before they tested it. So I'm just saying, like,
I get it.
Yeah, like it's what you see in the public as someone who worked in that field. You are never actually going to see the full story of anything that's going on. Because the whole nature of stuff being top secret is, if the fact we could collect on it gets out, then the enemy can change the entire nature of how they approach battle with us. And it's all about keeping as many cards. If you think that we don't have any technology, that's exactly what they're going to want you to think. Because they want the enemy to think we are weak enough that they could do something, so that when they do try something, they get obliterated.
All right, let's talk about how the frig Fauci still has a job, and then let's wrap up. Yeah. We got about 7 minutes, and we're out of here.
Fauci lied, puppies died.
Well, I think that's a diversion. I do like the because we have the Unvied Lives Matter shirt. There is now a Beagles Live Matter shirt, which is pretty friggin' funny.
It's not a diversion. It's something you need to rally around. It brings out common humanity.
Can I ask
what it does?
I got. How
it brings
is it
out
that
common humanity.
he was? And again, I always say the buck stops at the leader, which is again some of the issues I had with Trump when there was problems,
Yes,
etc.
100%.
But with Fauci is running a lab that has like you have to know all the programs going on underneath you.
That's why we need to jump on this.
But I get it. At the same time, I still think it's hilarious that we are giving China a pass on so many things right now. China is still getting a pass on the fact that they released from their country, whether it was a bat or whether it was the Fauci testing. They released something that has weakened the world economy. It's weakened the America drastically. And they're creating these things that, again, like Kevin said, we don't really need to know about, but we know that they're happening. So all these different things. And then at the same time, Fauci, whether it was negligence or not, much in the same of Alec Baldwin, same sense, whether it was negligence or not, people are dying because of what seems to be gain of function. And he lied to Congress. There's so many levels. How is this not man immediately removed from his job at this point? Anybody?
It's Congress. Sunni's already said this many times. It's both sides. They don't care. Like, where has Rand Paul been lately? Why isn't he capitalizing on this? He called it out a few times to cover up his garbage earlier before this year. That's why I'm losing a lot of faith in him. Like him and his dad, I still have a crap load of faith in his dad. However, they opened my eyes to a lot of this stuff. And this is just our government working the way the government works. They don't care as long as they keep their jobs. They're hunky-dory. They're going to keep getting their money, and they're going to just keep moving on. What happens to us doesn't matter to them.
Agreed.
No.
Sunni, what do you think?
I mean, I have to pair what Casey said. We have to recognize these people will never be held accountable because they all work together. They're on the outside, they're going to be like, oh, Fauci, Trump, Biden. And then behind doors, hey, what plans do we need to get done?
Right.
What bills can we collaborate on? We're going to make sure this bill doesn't pass to the public, but we're going to add a ton of amendments to it after we whine and complain months about a bill that we didn't agree with or believe in. Let's just add a ton of amendments, make it seem like we made fun and we made nice with each other to keep the general public pacified. This is what it's been for so long, and people are starting to wake up and see it. But
they always will.
The other thing to add to that is they're talking about child tax credit. What did they do? Start paying you monthly for having kids. Now they're talking about extending it.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're wanting you to be dependent on them.
Wow,
Yeah, well, yeah. The government always wants you dependent because if you're dependent on the government can control every aspect of your life. But I do want to also point out that you guys are very right in how you're looking at the situation. But I also want to say that this is just the hallmark of the elites. They build up power, build up power, build up power, build up power. As on their way to building up their power, every successive generation views the people below them in a lower and lower light. So the first generation, being one of the people as they're on their way up, respects the people below them, right? When they make their millions, they respect the people that are working for them, right? Because they're like, I was one of you, I just had a better idea. Well, their son, not necessarily going to understand that as well, but going to have more of a respect because the father is going to tell him. Well, the son is not going to be able to relay that to the grandson, who's not going to be able to relay it to the great grandson. And you see this every time the elites get to a certain power, a certain height, and then they reach a point where they underestimate the people to such an extent that they begin to treat the people as complete and utter fucking morons.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not, are we? We are not the stupid among us, right? At the end of the day, what ends up happening every single time is they reach this level where the elites think that they are so much above the average person that they start to do stuff like what we're seeing today. And the next step to that is revolution against it. Now, I'm not advocating for any of that kind of stuff. I think we've reached a point in a society where we can rectify these situations differently than in the past. But in the past, you see what happened with the French Revolution in Robespierre. You see what happened in Rome. You see what happened, like,
it's a direct parallel.
Yes, they think that what's going to happen is more reminiscent of the American Revolution, but what they're creating with the society they've created is going to be more reminiscent of the French Revolution. And at the end of the day, we need to. That's why it's so important that we use the avenues available to us to rectify this in a nonviolent manner, because what will happen otherwise is of an extremely violent manner, and that needs to be avoided at all costs, because that's just the natural course of history, and any historian will be able to back that up, because that's how it goes. It's always
Edmund Burke will back that up, and he's a father of conservatism.
Yes, and that's how it goes. The elites reach a level and they start to oppress those below them, and there's a revolution. The elites reach a level and they oppress, and there's a revolution, because at the end of the day, there is always the human tendency towards freedom and sovereignty and autonomy. And once, like, we can only put up with so much before we fight back. And so at the end of the day, that's why we must use the tools available to us now to avoid violence. Violence must be avoided at all costs. And I personally, and I'll end it here, I personally think we have reached a point as a society where we can end these disputes in a nonviolent manner, so long as the mechanisms in place operate how they're supposed to. And it's on us as the people to make sure those mechanisms are operating correctly. So that's always going to be my call to the people. We have the ability to do this non-violently, so we must.
I like it. Well said. We got our final topic, just about the FDA 5 to 11-year-olds, which we'll talk about for 2 minutes. I forgot to mention, I don't know how many of you guys are anywhere near West Palm. But in the Florida area, my mom.
I've been there many times.
So I'm going with Kelly. We're going to a Tony Robbins conference in
beautiful.
November. My mom's got an extra ticket. They're sold out. It's his first thing in 2 years in person. And
Christine.
the tickets are.
I'm gonna find the burger place you're gonna go to. It's the best burger I've ever had.
Let me know, Kevin. And if anybody wants to join Mama Russo. Let me know. The ticket's like $550 for 4 days of Unleash the Power Within. Sorry, I forgot. I meant to do that earlier in the show. Did you just dab a sneeze? But if anybody is close to West Palm and wants to join us, So and it's
reach out to Christine. She's right there.
Which Christine?
Netball.
I
cannot believe you just said that. Christine's gonna watch this and she's gonna wring your neck.
I'm gonna cut this clip and I'm gonna send it to her.
Do you know how many? Hold on. What's the last name? Do you know how many Christines we have?
She is in our team chat, bro.
Christine. Christine S.
Jesus. I'm sorry, Jesus.
I thought you were talking about a Christine in the comments. I didn't know you were talking about our Christine, for F's sake. Jeez.
Cover it however you want, Anthony.
Casey, can you snitch for me?
Yes.
I'll tell her.
Anthony Michael Russo.
I didn't know who you were talking about.
How dare you?
The liquor's wearing off.
You know what? No, he just didn't care about her because she's Hispanic. That's why.
I didn't know if she'd be legally allowed in. All right. So oh man. All right.
Man, it just gets worse.
Can I
need to find this burger place.
Tell me later, Kevin. All right, last thing. FDA is now 17-0 with one abstaining from the vote. 5 to 11-year-olds are now eligible for the EUA.
Grease burger.
Thank you. Fucking ADHD in the house. So, anyways, 5 to 11-year-olds. I did some research earlier. Less than 1 out of 100,000 5 to 17-year-olds are hospitalized per week. Less than 1. Why in God's name are we putting a V into a bunch of kids that have 1 out of 100,000 go to the hospital? Somebody, please tell me. Anybody? How did this pass? How did this pass 17-0?
Because there is no logic. Like, I just had this conversation with the county commissioners this morning. It was their fear is winning out, and they'll say that, hey, we're using the children to protect the elderly. Actually, The correct decision is to let the children build up an immunity to it because they have insanely good immune system. According to John Hopkins University Medical University research statistics, out of all the children that have actually died from COVID, less than 10. It's actually maybe like less than 10 is the amount they think it is, but between 10 and max 20 children without comorbidities have died. 10 to 20
total.
You're driving. I'm saying you're driving as a dumb soccer mom is a lot more dangerous for your child than COVID.
It's so dumb. I mean, there is no way that, and the only rallying cry is, well, it's keeping people, it's protecting the immunocompromised. You know what protects the immunocompromised? Staying home, and that's the people that need to be helped. But the rest of the people should not be risking other things.
Oh, so you mean like the way normally a quarantine or those things work? Oh, too much logic.
Casey,
we've never in this country have we ever quarantined the healthy. We've never quarantined the healthy, and we've broken every rule. It's ignorance at its finest. Yeah. And 5 to 11-year-olds. And here's the deal: no matter how you look at it, there is no way to prove with beyond shadow of a doubt. Even Dr. Sanjay Gupta said on Joe Rogan, there is no way to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this does not have long-term effects. Only time will tell is the word that he says. So why are we doing this to kids? And again, this mandate was, all of a sudden the 12 to 17-year-olds, it's available, and then California 2 months later goes, it's mandated to attend school. Like, this is terrifying. Oh God!
So it's not terrifying. It's heartbreaking. It's fucking disturbing, and it is absolutely what this does to children cannot be overstated. What the impact of kids not being able to see your face as they learn, to see each other's face as they're learning, as they're growing, as they're developing their social interactions, being able to see smiles. Being able to know that their actions are bringing joy to people in the world, like this is devastating on an emotional level. Like it fills me with pain to know what we are doing to children willingly in our country out of a fit of fear. Like what we are doing to kids. Like it makes me so happy when one of my friends has a baby and I'm able to do something to make the baby smile. Like it brings me joy. And when I'm smiling, I know it makes them feel good. And just robbing kids of that, robbing kids of the simple, like small, minute joys of life that make everything so worth living is just, it hurts, man. It makes me feel like shit knowing that people are doing this out of compassion, like out of love and empathy. It's like, no, you don't love anyone if you think your death, your life, anything you have is more valuable than that.
Yeah. What's the deal with trick-or-treating, Casey? And then let's get the F out of here.
What's the deal with trick-or-treating? Let me bring up a couple things.
I like bringing up light points, sorry.
Well, no, CDC.
The CDC came out and said, hey, you can go out and do trick-or-treating, just don't do it in large groups, even though you're outside. Wait a minute. Has anybody looked at any of the stadiums? Like, Russo, you work at them. Is that a large gathering? Can anybody give me the definition of a large gathering?
And these are kids, by the way. So these are also the least... I mean, unless there's a 27-year-old identifying as a 5-year-old, which it's America in 2021. Who knows at this fucking point?
Exactly. Right? And so it's ridiculous. On top of it, here in Utah, we have our church involved, which is... because Halloween's on Sunday, we now have 2 trick-or-treating days. And you are now segmenting people because the people that are super Mormon don't go trick-or-treating on Sunday. They go on Saturday. And then you have everybody else that goes trick-or-treating on Sunday. Pretty much is what's going to happen. And I'm like, my kids are going both days. I'm just gonna do it.
I'm half Jewish, half Italian. I used to do Hanukkah and Christmas, even though I was
just American Jews and we don't know it. What? Like,
I just don't understand why this is a problem. I can't fathom
400,000.
Why we
There's
can't.
400,000 there?
Yeah, 400,000 throughout the weekend.
It's crazy.
Wow. See, and trick or treating should not be a problem. You're outdoors. First of all. Second of all, the kids that are going around doing it, they are the least impacted by this, as we all know by the numbers. And so, why are we concerned? No one should be.
I don't get it. It's literally just continuing the fear mongering. By the way, did you see who won the F1 race in Austin?
Max Verstappen won.
Okay, I was gonna make a joke and you fucked it up. Thanks a lot. I was gonna say it was a French gentleman, and the whole crowd was chanting, "Let's go, Brandon!"
Well,
thanks for screwing it up.
Can we just say R.I.P. headphone listeners?
I'm sorry. I love F1. I love Max Verstappen. I'm going to be at the next one.
Can we just point out how cringy some white people can be when they see black folks? Can you freestyle? I would have been like, get the fuck away from me.
Just said that?
Doing?
Who said that?
Said what? Me? I said it.
Wait. Oh no! So no, that happened to Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. But what's really funny is the guy who asked the question, Martin Brundle. He's like a legend in F1. The guy's an absolute legend. He goes up to Megan Thee Stallion and goes, "Hey Megan, so you got a freestyle for us, eh?"
What country is he from?
He's from I think he's from Italy. He goes,
exactly.
"Hey love, can you give us a freestyle, hey love?"
And the Americans are racist. Got it.
No. Well, she's a rapper, and he asked her if she could freestyle. Martin Brundle is,
bro.
He's known for his super cringe celebrity interviews. It's kind of his thing. It's absolutely hilarious.
So technically, he's not white. He's Italian, but he still looks white.
No, he's very British. I was making a joke because his name is Martin Brundle.
Russo, you're not white because you're Italian, by the way.
And Jewish.
For Sunni.
Bibbidi babbidi, I'm Italian too. So,
well, what are you, Casey? Do you have any other ethnicity?
I'm Danish.
Background? Oh, Danish. Well, you're not white either.
Oh, Danish, okay, so maybe the small treat is brown because it's baked, but Danish people are about as white as you get. So.
Yeah. That's like a really white Viking. It doesn't get any whiter.
I like Vikings. I think Vikings are pretty badass.
Yeah, they are. Casey, what happened?
They enslaved everybody. They're like, I don't give a damn if you're white, black, purple, you're mine.
Be careful. Last time we went down this road, we got our stream removed from IG because of Johnny.
Oh god.
Dude, no joke though. England is the way it is because the Vikings moved in and were like, yeah, so you're a bunch of weak dudes. We're gonna take your women from you. No, I'm making it sound a lot more consensual than it was.
I'm Lori, Irish and Native. My dad is just really dark.
That's not. Lori is very far off here. Danish is pasty white. Danish is a pastry that is white. There's a huge difference.
Oh jeez. Suni, I thought you had a dark tan. So I didn't know that you were black.
I actually I get cinnamon.
Oh, you can't see it on the camera, but I'm almost to the point where I'm probably going to get profiled in a car one day.
Oh, we just lost Kevin. I like the
Kelly would be upset if she heard you say that. She'd be like, "Excuse me, I don't know what you look like in your car."
As long as you why? Because he wears a mask. Just kidding.
Because
exactly.
She always says, "I can't see what color somebody is when I pull them over."
I mean, fair enough, kind of, sort of, maybe. My I don't have any tint on windows, so you can definitely see my ass.
Oh, you white.
Let's be honest. Kevin doesn't even own a car. He's still thinking
I own a truck.
No, he owns a truck.
Oh, I like that comeback.
He lives where
the overcompensator.
We have to drive trucks here soon, Russo. I don't think you understand.
I drive a hybrid as my backup car.
You fucking 58 miles. Jeez, nothing has surprised me as little as you saying you drive a hybrid, Russo.
So I have a Jeep. I have a Jeep Wrangler. 1, 2. My girlfriend lives 110 miles away, and we make the drive 3 times a week. So that hybrid is a free car compared to the gas prices. And see what's going on in Brandon's America right now? I'm going to tell you right now that hybrid gets 55 to 58 miles per gallon. So
Russo and black girl
environmentalist dick.
Oh, dude.
I will fucking tell you what.
You know what I'm going to do for you, Russo, right now? As soon as we're done here, I'm going to go out and start my truck and just let it run in the driveway.
You know what? I might do. Look, man, he owns a Jeep Wrangler. The only people around me that own Jeep Wranglers, like young white women.
Oh, you guys are messing up my quote. I can't even do this quote anymore. It doesn't even apply.
You know what, Kevin? As long as when I see you, my car is running on the electric side and not the gas, you won't even hear me when I run over your ass. But it won't hurt very much because it's a little piece of shit fucking hybrid.
I'll just turn around and just like push it gently to the side because it's a hybrid.
With your truck that screams small penis. All right.
Yeah, the overcompensatorator. Come on, man. Like, let's go. It's, I'm just as an aside, don't tell anyone I'm telling you this story. So like my ex-girlfriend's sister's boyfriend hated me because like I made a small dick joke about his truck because he had a Dodge Ram. I go, hey, compensating for something like that. And of course, I also have a truck that very much looks like I'm compensating for, God's lack of blessings. But he got like super offended by it. I was like, dude, way to confirm the joke. My God, dude.
Why are you so offended?
I'm like,
it's not true.
I was like, dude, I call my truck the overcompensatorator for a reason. Because, the next best option is a smart car. So let's be real here.
And we all know that Cash had a minivan, and he talked about the size of his Jimmy Jam. So let's be very clear. It's not about the car. And honestly, I drive a hybrid, so clearly that's telling you about what's going on down there. Just kidding. It's just efficient. That's all it is. We've turned this into concert ventures. All right, so let's end this. Oh man, I can't. I'm so sad. Barb's computer roasted because she would have literally been bright red during this conversation.
I'm very glad Nancy's asleep because she would not have approved of this last half hour. I promise you. Sorry, Nancy, in advance.
One pump chump.
Whoa! We're talking about size, not stamina or skill. Again, what did I say? 55 to 58 miles.
And I'm telling you, you're off by at least 50%. Two pump chump up in the house. Woo!
Efficient is all you need.
50%? Wouldn't that...
Casey, don't even.
So, guys, we had Barb on earlier. We've got a great event, an in-person event that Barb, Gold Star wife, she was on the beginning of the show, she's got coming up. We are all going to be there. I will be speaking at it. Our whole team will be helping work besides Suni because, again, she lives in Japan. Always bringing up Cash's junk. Do you know how hard it is to bring up his junk? I have to do curls.
Talk about hard. Yeah, let's go.
Anyways, we miss Cash.
Jesus Christ.
God.
Forgive us, Lord.
Oh, Suni, I had a whole conversation about systemic racism with Cash. After doing some reading, he gets my point about the fact there was systemic racism. He's learned a little bit.
There was. There was.
Oh, and he always used to deny it. He always used
not in 2020 though.
No, he agrees there isn't now, but he didn't even understand the roots of it.
I give everybody that. It definitely existed. 100%. Do that, Jim.
That's not going away, Russo.
Yeah.
No, it's going to flip around. It will be in 2030, but it will be against white people.
No, I mean this comment isn't going away.
Oh, I thought no, that's what Casey was talking about. He goes in 2030, it's going to be flipping around. So again, check this out, guys. The starting tickets are $197. There's some killer speakers, including, if you don't know who Nick Vujicic is, he's got no arms, no legs. He is one of the top 5 motivational speakers in the country, if not world. And there's also great.
What would his name be if he was hanging on a wall? Art. God, I'm a horrible human being.
He said art.
All we know is Kevin needs Jesus. Kevin needs Jesus.
I hope nobody's watching right now. Jesus. Anyways, please join us. Please join us for this. It's going to be great. $197. Oh my God. Oh.
He fell out of his chair. Wait, let's just mute him. He's still out of it. Okay. He's
Oh my
blazed,
God.
man. This is what happens when you reach the perfect medium. You know, the perfect medium. I know where you're at, man. I miss being there.
No, there's actually
Next one
100,
is?
including YouTube. All right. So
You want to
that's
know
it.
what the next one is?
I don't.
No,
really.
no. After the show.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's dying right now. Shopify.com.
Go get some Be the Change merch, man. Please.
I can't even remember. Wake
Don't
up.
let Kevin
Yeah.
speak for you. Let us speak for you because he's gonna
Yeah.
get you kicked off the internet. You ain't got to worry about me.
Yeah.
I've been
Facts.
good.
Right? Well, who has got Be the Change banned on YouTube in the last few months?
This guy.
This guy. Anyways, but yeah, Awake Not Woke store. Russo, you got to fix that garbage, by the way. We got a clean URL now. awakenotwokestore.com.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
you put it as awakenotwokestore.com? I thought we did awakenotwokeusa.com. Got it.
No. I did that one, and we're gonna use.
So I have to update my IG. Can you put it in a private chat so I can update my Instagram? Okay.
Yeah, both of them will still work forwards.
Oh,
but
okay.
awakenotwokestore.com just is cleaner. It's easier for everyone.
Gotcha.
Got it. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, check out some merch. Help us out.
This is a new shirt that will be coming. It's already made. We needed to reprint
What if he's in the water?
Oh my God. Kevin, you really need to find Jesus. I don't know how else to say it. You need help.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like squirming in my seat. I don't know if you could tell because this is just bad.
I'm a horrible human being. I'm a horrible human being, guys.
Everything's about Kevin now. Can we just remove him?
Wait, is he a combat veteran?
Who?
Nick.
Nick? No, he was born that way. Jesus.
Then he's gonna love it all the same. It's the same. It's a Daphne situation. Dark humor is the way people get through shit.
Right.
I'm gonna tell him these in person.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. No, I won't. Maybe I would.
Against it.
Can we change the location and not tell someone?
Yeah. Kevin,
I'm
it's
a
going to
horrible
be.
human being. I'll stop. I'm terrible.
Kevin, it's going to be in downtown Portland. We'll see you there. Make sure
Yes,
you wear your Unbeat Lives Matter shirt.
And make sure you show up where
man.
the blue tarps are. The blue tarps is where it's going to be at. So show up.
Blue tarps.
Man. Yeah, I'm going to have you have a shirt that says January 6th was a riot, and you wear that in Portland. See what happens. Okay.
I want that shirt.
That's kind of funny.
Man.
That's what I got in trouble for because Kelly put that on our story. That was like our first date, like our first travel date. And she put, something about the protest was a riot or something like that, like funny. And anyways, people didn't like that. We were flagged a lot. All right, let's get out of this because Kevin, I'm already going to have to edit the show.
I'll wear it. I will.
All right. Anybody else?
I promise he's not as sensitive as you think he is.
Do you know him?
No, I just know that people aren't as sensitive as we think they are.
It's true. And
thank you for tuning in to Truth to Set You Free. This has been an amazing episode.
I'm the
outside
worst.
of Kevin's career.
Sweet God, we got to get rid of Kevin.
Oops.
We're going to lose all of our platforms now, but yes.
Yeah. Let's hope that the fact checkers weren't listening at the end of the show.
Fact check.
The Nazi.
Yeah, instead of Sunni, you're muted. Let's just go mute Kevin right now.
I'm going to make a shirt, mute Kevin, and I'm going to start wearing it.
I just want to say that, Dave Chappelle's my hero, I guess. I don't know.
You could at least end it with sorry, Nancy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nancy. I apologize.
You know what?
Moment, though.
That was a Dave Chappelle moment. You might as well be Joe Biden, just having a kid with cerebral palsy and calling him Brandon.
Look, all I'm gonna say is that's why I make rape jokes.
Oh God!
Wait, did you just say the R word?
We've been over this, guys. Jesus.
This is Liberty Revolt, all right? This is not BetheChange.
Oh my God, you would not. You guys would like not last around like people in the military. Tell you that much. My God,
softies. Oh, they wouldn't. No,
softies all around.
Like, I need to get out of here now.
Yeah, softies all across the fucking board. I've said those jokes to a human being before, except his limbs were removed by a bomb, and he loved it. So,
did you give him a hand? All right,
I gave him a hand job, but like.